Hello.
Yes. Oh. Ah. Oh, hello. Hello and welcome to Streambox. I am your host Chris Khan. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We are a new channel here on YouTube. We've been only going a couple of weeks, but if you are new and just have found us and stumbled across our gaming Tetris session, well then please do stay tuned or hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to get notifications when our new videos comes out, and give us an L thumbs up, get us out there in that YouTube algorithm, YouTube's algorithm of madness. So today we are talking about a new film that just released on the Apple Plus streaming platform, and that is the film Tetris. Yes, they made a movie about an old school 1980s game. Classic.
It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I played for 5 minutes. I still see falling blocks in my dreams. It's poetry, art, and math all working in magical synchronicity. It's the perfect game. Tetris?
Tetris.
Tetris. Tetris.
Tetris. I don't get it.
Welcome to all our viewers. We are talking about the new film Tetris, which has launched on Apple TV Plus. That's right, Tetris. The little game that came in the 1980s with the Game Boy. It is starring Taron Egerton, and he plays Hank Rogers, or Hank, H-E-N-K, Hank Rogers, because he is a Dutch gentleman, and he is working for Bulletproof Software, the company that is just a mid-range game developer in Tokyo, Japan at the time, and he is at a games event or a scenario at the start of the movie where he's trying to get his game out there and for people to buy it, and he stumbles across the game Tetris. And everything explodes from there on in. This movie has a wonderful scenario that is microscopically sewn through the narrative. It is very simple. It is literally about a man who discovers a game and he wishes to bring it to the world because he enjoys playing it. I'm serious, that is about as simple as this film gets, about this simple little game that has sold millions upon millions of copies, and people still play it today on their mobile phones. And if you're lucky enough to have an old school Game Boy to enjoy it, well, that is just a classic L way to give it a go. Now, Tetris itself starts off with a bang. Straight away, we are into the action, and it has a beautiful cinematography done to it. It is 80s vibe all the way through it. If you enjoy films that are based around 80 themes, or movies or TV shows, something similar to, like, say, Stranger Things, which is based in the 80s, you are going to love Tetris.
Sorry, Amanda. By the law of 80s movies, a newly transformed tomboy supersedes your long-standing hotness.
It is done fantastically. From 80s style moustaches to suits that don't really fit, it's just wonderfully done. And even the cinematography of how they capture the moment, of how it makes you feel engrossed that you are on this journey of just get up and go, 80s style, American. Yes, everything is going to be successful.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Hank, only 10 other people in the world have seen what you're about to see. It's called the Game Boy.
Package it with Tetris.
Can you get us the rights?
Until we get to Russia. Because the Soviet Union in the 1980s was still very strong in its communism, and it was dark, dull, and grey. Well, that is how they portray it in the cinematography in this film. And what they show you of how they display Russia is excellent. It just gives you this feeling of it's cold, the people are just crushed down and they're just gone at this time. They've lost all belief in Mother Russia and it is just destroying them. And this man creates Tetris and it just explodes between all the different sort of offices that he shares it with as a programmer for the Russian government. So that is the sort of scenario of the film and the synopsis of what way it plays out. But realistically, Taron Egerton does a fantastic job. He really does. He portrays this character so honestly that you just want him to succeed. Whether you know what happens to the game, obviously we all know that it came out to the main markets, but you don't know the story of it. Not knowing the story of this simple journey of a man just trying to help his company succeed in life is wonderful, because it's what we all are. We are all just trying to get the best out of life as we can, and if we have a company or we work for somebody, where we should honestly try to do the best we can for that job, especially if you're happy in your job. That's a big thing, you know, or you enjoy what you're doing. We want to see it succeed, and he just wants to succeed. Now, Hank Rogers is actually a programmer himself, so he understands the industry itself as a gaming lover and as a fanatic of wanting to deliver and create something so beautiful. And he believes Tetris is the best and most beautiful game he's ever played in his life. And through this story, we go on this little journey with them. It's not a little journey, it's actually pretty big. And how he's a dealer wheeler and he is a cowboy when it comes down to some moments of it, but he gets in with the big boys. He even wiggles his way into Nintendo, and that's why we have this amazing Nintendo Game Boy with this wonderful game of Tetris that launched and sold like over 100 million copies, I think, in its first year or something like that. Crazy stuff. But it's all because of this gentleman that goes and believes in himself and believes that he can bring this game and give this gentleman that created it, Alexei, in Russia, the opportunity that he deserves for showing his art to the world.
This is it? The original?
Amazing.
Can I play? Yes.
It's always been bugging me.
Why can't both lines disappear at once instead of one at a time?
Because I never thought of that.
If you haven't seen this film, or you don't have Apple, for this movie, rent it for a month. It is well worth it. It's something you can even show to your teenage kids that love gaming or so forth, to just see the journey and the challenges that this person faces. Nowadays, everything is handed to us, or we send an email and everything has to be portrayed over even a phone call or a video call that we have, and everything is simply done or pushed aside really quickly. But this is all about getting stuck in and grinding for what you believe in. And for me, Tetris is a grind of beauty, of cinematography, of artistic expression, and it also has this wonderful 8-bit scenario that runs all the way through it. I'm not going to give too much away, because for me, it really sold the enjoyment, I suppose, that I had watching this film of how they portrayed it. Listen, give Tetris a go. You will not be disappointed, especially if you love good acting and a good storyline. It has both of those in it. But if you are a lover of old school gaming, or you're a handheld little phenomenon like this boy here, and you come from the 1980s and you have one of these, definitely Tetris is for you. Listen, we are Streambox. Thanks so much for joining us here today. If you do like what we are doing, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, hit that bell button, and do come again next week. And if you haven't seen any of our previous videos and you're only new, catch up. You might see something you like. All the best.
Streambox, oh Streambox, the place where all your streams can come through. Oh. Yes, it's true. Stream box when we review, but we do it all for you. Stream box fix you.